Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Worshipful Wednesday. It is that day during the week we thank God and just lift up our hands and say, Lord, we thank you for all the wonderful things you have done in our lives, with our lives, and through our lives. It is also February, African American History Month, Black History Month. We like to pause this day to let you know a very simple fact on today. Born on this date in 1944 in Eaton, Georgia, is Alice Walker. She spent most of her life working as a lecturer and a social worker, but primarily a writer. She grew up in Georgia, and while she was playing with her brothers, she had an injury to her eye through and by a BB gun. It was then that her sight became a little bit challenging, but God used her in such a special way that she began reading more and more, and she became a great writer of poetry. On today, we focus on Alice Walker. I can remember reading her poetry when I was in high school, as well as in undergrad, as well as throughout life. What a great writer she was. And we thank God for the work that she is currently doing in this world today. Today, look with me out of Luke's Gospel, the 5th chapter, verses 27 through 32. We find ourselves now at a passage that talks about the call of Levi or Matthew. Remember Levi or Matthew, he was a tax collector. Jesus saw him while he was entering into a town, and he saw him at the tax collection booth. And he said unto him, "Follow me and become my disciples." And the text says that immediately Levi got up, left what he had, and started following Jesus. Levi had held a banquet in his home, and Jesus was the guest of honor. The text lets us see that while Jesus was at Levi's home, or Matthew's home, all of the other tax collectors were there. And then people start to say, well, what kind of guy is this Jesus? He's hanging out with tax collectors. See, tax collectors in their day, some of them would not only collect your taxes, but they will collect a little bit more for themselves. That's the reason why they were so hated and so had such a dreadful connotation to go along with their names, because tax collectors in their day were really corrupt. And Levi is being called by Jesus. Jesus sees something in Levi that others don't see. I am so glad about this text, because this text lets us see that Jesus called people who you and I might not really want to call. Jesus calls people who he knows have a heart to serve him and are willing to follow at his command. On our text today, we see that Levi is sitting at his booth. Jesus calls him, and he gets up from where he is, and he leaves, and he follows Jesus. I can only believe in my mind that he had some other people that were working with him, but he left the chief seat and left it for someone else and said, I'm leaving all of that behind, and I'm following Jesus. You know, whenever I read this passage, it asks me the question, have I left everything behind to follow Jesus? Well, the truth of the matter, many of us who follow Jesus, we haven't left much of anything behind. We keep on doing what we're doing, and we say that now we're following God. But the text helps us to see that we have to leave some things behind and move forward. Today, I want all of us to examine our lives on this Wednesday. Ask ourselves, are we moving forward? I'm so happy that God has summoned people throughout history, both in our contemporary times and in our previous days, to get up from where they were, to follow God, and to lead others down a new path, a path that will be peaceful, a path that will be filled with tranquility, a path that will glorify God. Today, let's be willing to hear the voice of God. Let's hear the voice of Jesus that says, come on and follow me. So then we can sing that song, wherever he leads me, I'll go. Wherever he sends me, you know I'm going. And so today the Lord is calling you. He's calling me. Let's get up from where we are and go to where God would have us to be. And remember, this year of 2022, God has a blessing that's in store for you. And I'll see you on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.